Machine politically incorrect. Let's hear the story. I just want Bianca to speak first. So those who don't know Bianca is a TikTok content creator. She covers lots of stories similar to this. But let's just call Bianca and listen to her.
Hi, Shani.
Bianca, hi, how are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good. Look, Bianca, a story broke over the weekend.
Yes.
I first saw the story. There was this Indian guy who broke the story, and I was like, what is he talking about? And I could not fathom and these things, unfortunately, most of the time happens in Limpopo. I remember the Chisale story way back where they were feeding animals our people were fed to animals in Hoedspruit. But this I didn't think. I thought maybe it was a hoax or something. Please introduce yourself to the audience, because we are recording a podcast live now. We're not live though. We are just recording a podcast. Introduce yourself to the guys at Politically Incorrect. Those who remember you, they'll remember that you once came to the studio. And please start unpacking the horrible story for us.
Okay. All right. So I'm Bianca. I'm a content creator. I'm also a activist in certain, I would say, human rights, and that is my focus. And I'm on an anti-racist journey, and South African.
Thank you.
That seems to be very important lately. Okay, so yes, all right. The story how I picked it up was actually through Capricorn Radio, which is, I believe it's based in Polokwane. And then I started looking at articles for it. So it is a horrific story to tell, but I can start on the 17th of August when Maria Makato left her home but she was also accompanied by Luciana, which is a Zimbabwean national. Maria is South African, and Luciana's husband was with them. And they went to a farm where there is a dumping ground. So what I understand is a dairy products organization has a arrangement to dump their, expired or close to expired dairy products there. Now, it is a pig farm, and it's also in the same area, Sebaeng. And they went to that farm to go and look through, what they can salvage out of the dump. And then all three of them were shot. The two women were shot. Well, they were shot in their torso, and they died. They passed away, and the man managed to crawl away to the road and get help and get taken to the hospital. However, the two women's bodies were then thrown in the pigsty. And according to the articles that I have read, there were 50 pigs in this enclosure. And okay, it gets a bit graphic here, and I do apologize. So what happened was her son, Maria, has 4 sons, a 5-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 22-year-old. And her son then phoned her uncle, his uncle, saying he's looking for his mother because she hasn't come home. Okay? And then they didn't know. He then went and looked at the hospitals. She wasn't in the hospital. Then he went to the police and he opened a case. But when he was there, they said there is another case regarding these missing women. And then they went to the farm, and that's where they made the grisly discovery of the 2 women's bodies in the pigsty, and they were already badly decomposed. And also, I don't know if I should say this, the pigs had started eating them. Okay. And the initially 2 suspects were arrested. That was the farm owner, I believe it's Zachariah Willifeer, and he is 60 years old, and then Rudolf de Wet, which is apparently his employee, and he's 19 years old. And then the following day, their worker, William Musora, was arrested. They were charged with different things, though, and I know a lot of articles say they were all 3 charged with murder and attempted murder. But no, the farmer, Willifeer and de Wet, were charged with murder and attempted murder. William Musora was charged with being an accomplice, because he apparently found the bodies, then told de Wet and Willifeer. So they didn't immediately find the bodies. And then he told Willifeer and de Wet, and then they moved the bodies to the pigsty. But William is being charged with being accomplice and also with an immigration charge. And they were in court already, but they appear in court again on the 30th of August. So I believe that's their bail application. And at the moment, I have spoken to Maria's oldest son, Theo, but his name's Ranti, Magatu. And I then, they are really not. They don't have the means to, for instance, go back and forward for autopsy reports and also groceries and things like that. And we've started a Back a Buddy funding campaign for them to just, make this difficult time a little bit easier. So we're raising funds for them at the moment. My understanding is also the man who was shot, who's obviously going to be a witness in this case too, he was in hospital until Friday last week. And all this played out on Sunday, the 17th of August. And that's more or less what I can tell you about this whole situation.
Bianca, this is so sad. Yeah, this is so sad. It's so sad because you think, you numb yourself whenever you need to listen to these things. And, as media practitioners, we are expected not to downplay other stories and select which stories we cover. And this is one of those that you don't wish to be involved in. But if you do not get involved in, you are assisting the perpetrators to not be known, and this is what we are against. So let me seek permission first. Can I use the footage of the what is this crowdfunding? What do you call it?
The Back a Buddy.
Back a Buddy. Can I use it on the on this podcast to show people
Absolutely.
that? Yeah, it has details. What do people who need to contribute, what is it that they need to do?
Okay, so there's actually a link, but the details of so they'll go to Back a Buddy on the internet, okay, and they'll look for support the Magatu family, and then they can contribute. I must say, I'm really impressed that people have come to the party on this one. I think that it's something that, it's 4 orphan children now.
Okay.
So, but also I have, if you want to use any of the other information, I've been covering the story in detail on TikTok because I wanted to get awareness about it.
Okay, is there a link available on Body that I can put on the bio for people to?
Yes, there is.
All right, I'll do that.
I will actually. You can get it off Buddy, or I can send it to you. It's not a problem.
All right. No, thank you. Please send it through. So, these guys, were they in the dock?
Yes, they were ready. And I know I'm getting a whole lot of requests saying, why aren't I showing the faces of the perpetrators? But the media has been instructed that they cannot show the faces of the perpetrators.
That's exactly what I wanted to know. Were they in the dock?
Yes.
Did they plead?
No, they're pleading on the 30th of August.
So what was happening on the...
I'm not sure what happened there. So they came in. My understanding is it's a bail application now. So I'm not exactly sure what is happening, but I know they're appearing again on the 30th.
You see this thing, that's what angers people. You know, when it's white people who are being brought to question, the problem is always, we walk on eggshells, and the problem now is people have already shown their faces, and we don't want to be in contempt of court by showing people's faces. But ordinarily, shouldn't people plead in the dock before?
I believe that
before the court, before the application for bail.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but for some reason it's now on the 30th of August, and I know the instruction, and it was a brief. I think it was on SABC. Because I've really been trying to follow it in detail, that they said that the media has been instructed not to just show their faces, I think, until they plead. So I don't think they've pleaded already. I think this is happening now on the 30th.
Okay, thank you very much.
So it's this week. And,
it's Friday. It's a day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, let's wait and see what happens. Bianca, thank you very much. I didn't intend this to be a long call. Thanks for sharing the story. What I'll do is I'll maybe attach some of the content that you've already produced, but you've summed up the story very well. Let me get to my learned person to understand if these people have appeared already and they are now going for bail application. Is it safe? I mean, Mboro is still being shown everywhere without any flinches. But thank you very much, Bianca.
Such a pleasure. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks a lot. Keep well.
All right.
Bye.
You too.
Bye. Okay, that's it. Let me call my learned friend just to check. I'll ask her for permission to disclose a name, and then I will also ask ordinarily how does it work, because I don't want to be blamed that whenever it's white people we are hiding their faces, but their faces are all over the media. Let me do this. Let me just find
this morning, such a most disgrace information ever you can find. The farmer, Afrikaner, member of AfriForum, Rudolf de Wit, Zakaria Olivier, they killed 2 black petty women into pieces, and they let them, their pigs, to eat it. Those animals, those heinous, those disgraced racist Afrikaner kill our 2 innocent black women. They kill them. They kill them. Plus, they give their pigs to eat them. We want justice now. We want sense of Mushunu. Visit Limpopo right now. Get the justice. We want every South African black person go to Limpopo, Sabayanga. Go. We are not going to let our people being ill-treated.
The three suspects, Zakaria Olivier, aged 60, William Musora, aged 40, and 19-year-old Rudolf Divet, appeared briefly in court. Police initially arrested Olivier, who owns the farm, and Divet, who is the farm employee, on Tuesday. Musora, who is a foreign national, was then apprehended on Wednesday. Preliminary reports indicate that the remains of the two women were dumped inside the pig stalls. The victims' families are reeling in shock.
We kept on asking about her whereabouts. On Tuesday, she was found dead with a gunshot wounds inside a pig enclosure. Her remains were kept with the pigs, so this is painful to us. She left 4 children. It hurts. We have never seen something like this.
Called to come to the farm to check the situation which had just unfolded. They found the remains of their loved one in the pig's enclosure. The pigs had already started consuming them. This means that the suspect wanted to dispose of the evidence.
The media has been instructed not to show the images of the suspects. Investigations are still ongoing. The defense is still consulting with the accused.
Regarding his specialization in pigs, there is pig farming, apparently, but this I also, like I said, haven't been able to confirm. The only people I have spoken to is some of his family members who has instructed me with via the advocate.
The matter has been postponed to next week Friday.
And move to this story now. Please note that some viewers may find the details of the next report distressing. The post-mortem results of the 2 women killed allegedly by a Limpopo farmer and his 2 employees will be released today. It is believed that the victims were shot at a farm in Sibayeng outside Polokwane last week. The decomposed bodies were discovered in a pigsty at the farm days after they were reported missing. Our reporter Zola Sholana is covering this story for us, and she's joining us now live from Mankweng outside Polokwane in Limpopo. Zola, very good morning to you once again. Just thinking back to the interview that you had yesterday with the son of one of the women who died, and the difficulty that there is for the family now as they await the post-mortem results.
Well, Aldrin, this incident evoked a lot of emotions, not only for the families that of the 2 ladies that were found in this farm, but for the entire community, where people came forward saying that no matter the circumstance, no one deserves to be thrown into a pigsty. Now, we are just outside the farm where these 2 bodies were discovered by police after one lady, which is Maria, was reported missing by her son. I'm just going to ask my colleague to pen exactly where the bodies were found, where the pigsty is. It's actually right there at the back where you see white things. We can't really get closer because it has been declared a crime scene at this point. There isn't much activity happening on this road, and this farm is right next to the famous R81, Algin, but there isn't much movement. One would expect the farm to, be quite busy, but it's really quiet at this point. This is where Theo found his mother's body. He described the state in which the body was found, saying that the mother had missing body parts, and he described the inhumane act, saying that nobody deserved to be killed in that manner. Now, we do understand that the three people that are allegedly involved in this incident will be appearing on Friday for a formal bail application, Algin, and we understand that the families are backed up by a community that says they should not be granted bail, because if they really killed them, then why feed pigs with, human beings? We will be moving with the family for the day, as we understand that post-mortem results will be released. And Aljan, you might have seen yesterday, because we went to the family home, Maria was a breadwinner. She was the one looking after her children. Now, these children have nowhere to, in fact, they don't even know how they will start preparing for their mother's funeral. A mother who came to this farm saying that she's here to collect, vegetables, as we understand, and she did not return home. And Theo then realized that it's been 2 days without his mother and reported the case to the police, only to find out that his mother's body will be discovered in this area. They will decide after receiving the results when they will lay their mother to rest, and they have asked for contributions, understanding, the circumstances, saying that they have nothing to lay their mother to rest. We also understand that the municipality is backing the families up in terms of ensuring that those that are accused of this gruesome incident are denied bail on Friday, as they will be appearing at the Mankweng Magistrates Court.
This pig farm at Sibayeng is the scene of a criminal investigation. 2 women were shot and killed, and their remains allegedly thrown inside a pig's enclosure. 1 man was shot and wounded. According to the National Prosecuting Authority, the pigs started consuming the remains of the victims. A mother of 4 children had her life cut short in a gruesome manner. Maria Makata's home is situated less than 10 kilometers from the pig farm where her life ended. Her remains and those of Kudzai Ndlovu were discovered in a state of decomposition by the police on Tuesday. Their bodies had been reportedly thrown inside a pig's enclosure. The 2 were shot and killed, allegedly by the farm owner and 2 other suspects aged 19 and 42. Makata was reported missing after visiting the pig farm. Concerned, the family traced her to the farm. However, they were not provided with helpful information. I went there and asked the workers if they had seen my sister, and they said they were absent from work on Monday. I asked the seller next door, and he told me he had gunshots last night. I asked the employer who fed the pigs if they had not seen any dead bodies, and he said no. Now I know they were lying there, because pigs cannot go for 3 days without being fed. A man who was with the deceased woman was also shot but escaped with injuries. The families have demanded justice. We have lost. My sister's children are now orphans, and I will have to take care of them. I need help, and I want those farm owners to be denied bail. I do not want to see them free. The ANC Women's League has condemned the killings.
We are not encouraging people to be killed, particularly women to be killed, regardless of what people think they have done. So we also want to appeal to community members all over, and also branches of the ANC Women's League, to say that they need to report any incidents of gender-based violence and femicide in our own province. So this incident disturbed us.
The 3 suspects, Zakaria Olifir, Rudolph Divet and William Musora, will appear at the Mankweng Magistrates Court on the 7th of October.
It's your top story this hour, and please do note the following story does contain graphic details. The family of 2 women found dead last week at a farm in Sibayeng outside Polokwane will know more about their final moments today when the results of a post-mortem are set to be released. It's believed the women were shot, their decomposed bodies discovered in a pigsty at the farm just days after they were reported missing. Now, Zola Shalwana, our reporter, is on the story. She joins us live from Mankweng outside Polokwane in Limpopo. Zola, let's begin here. The post-mortem results, of course, the family is holding on, waiting to see what those results have to say. Are we expecting them to be released today?
Well, Michelle, that is what we were told earlier on, that they will be released any time from now. But we do understand that everything has been complete. They just need to be presented to their affected families. You'd remember that earlier on we were speaking to one of the families, which, in fact, Maria's family, that we have been following since yesterday, just to get a reaction on how they feel about the manner in which their mother was allegedly killed. We went to the farm in the morning trying to see where the incident happened and, what really transpired. But we have someone that was part of the day. In fact, he was in that particular farm when all of this has happened, and he is Kudzai's husband. So thank you very much for your time. If you could just tell us about that day when you saw your wife. I understand that Niena hamba naya a farm, and you went to do the usual, which was ukuthola food, basically. What happened that day?
Safike farm la phara sabheka lapha esihlala sibheka khona. Sathola kula lutho. So silokhu sibheka sabona abantu ababili ababemi. So suddenly silokhu sibona abantu labana silokhu sixoxisana ngokuthi ngobani. Sezwi ubhobho siqala ukudubula. First bullet yachaya emoyeni, esibili yachaya mina, esithathu yachaya omunye unkosikazi esasilaye, esine yachaya unkosikazi wami. So suka khona lapho nacambalala. For the meantime ngabuyela futhi kunkosikazi wami ukuthi ngimbheke ukuthi lokho ephila yini, ngathola ke ephila. Ngaxoxa la ukuthi ngeke ngamsiza ngimsindise kodwa kwakungela ncedo engaluyenza. Ngabe ngisuka lapho ngisiyadinga ukuthi ngidinga uncedo erodini enkulu. Ke ngafika khona ngacandama kwenye indawo. Ngisisipheni yami buhlungu. Ngasuka khona lapho ngazofonela omunye udokotela best friend yaphi sometimes ngihlala ngimsebenzela. Uyonceda sometimes nxa unkosikazi wami esithwele. Noma anything engeke ngifuna ngeke ngincede. So waphangisa ukubuya wangisiza unkosikazi ulokuze. Wasesasithi siye emapholiseni, sasuka saya emapholiseni. Safika emapholiseni ngathola usizo, wafona i-ambulance ngaye esibhedlela. Befika esibhedlela i-ambulance yathi yabele ithatha unkosikazi wami, kodwa ngezozwa officer in charge sithi i-ambulance le police yabuyela ayibatholanga. Kodwa after 4 days 5 days sokwenzakele lento mina sesibhedlela, ngezwa utholakale ejikwe esipayini sengulube.
Ubhuduzizwe kanjani ezukuthi unkosikazi wakhe ulahlelwe la kuphila ingulube khona, and the last time ugcina ukukhuluma nayo umgcine ephila, uyitshela ukuthi mhlawumbe uzothola usizo wena mawufika esibhedlela?
Ngangakhangelelanga ukuthi ngizamthola, uzatholakala esipayini sengulube. Ngosiparo wami ebuye esibhedlela sombheka la, ngamtshela ukuthi inxe ukhona khona lapha esibhedlela ewadini yani yabo mama, ngoba ukuthi uzatholakala sefile lo mase esipayini sengulube into engakhangelelanga, into enzisa ubuhlungu kakhulu.
Umama lo omunye enihambe naye uSis Maria umgcine nini yena? Angithi unkosikazi wakho khonela ukukhuluma naye after bemdubulile. uSis Maria yena?
uSis Maria laye esathi ngangalazi igama lakhe ngikwangilazi manje. uSis Maria ubethu okwenzwa edutshulwa umbhobho khonapho. Wasawela khonapho kazange ebe lenye movement. Kodwa engakwanisa ukuthi mbele ngixoxa la nkosikazi wami ngangimuzwe isiba le movement yokungani yagonya uloku yagomela. Kodwa lwala ngizange ngibe le attention ukuthi ngimkhangele. Wasasaya zokuphikisa lo nkosikazi sithi asehambile kodwa ngala. Ngathi lwana uchayi wasawela khonapho wasafela khonapho. Ngoba ngangizwile umpopho wakho ukuthi awakho hayi kazange ephile vele.
Manje ke bhuti, abantwana bakho unkosikazi ushiya abantwana abawu4, omncane una 1 year and 5 months. Impilo izoba njani without uma wabo?
Impilo ngathi izaba lukhuni kakhulu. Ngoba mina umsebenzi ade ngisebenza athi umsebenzi lwana onzima, lwana okusebenza, okuyakha, lokuplasta, lokurufa. So wakathezi ngendlela engalimala ngayo. Amboni ukuthi ngizakwanisa ukusebenza ukuthi ngiyenelise ukugcina imuli le.
Ukhulumile ukuthi mawufika esibhedlele uye wa realize ukuthi some of your intestines isiphumele ngaphandle. If you can just describe that moment.
Ngathi sebendlalisile esibhedlela instead futhi ngathi sebendlalisile eambulance. Ngoba ngathi mbheka eceleni lapho engadutshulwa khona ngangicabanga ukuthi kule gazi elibutheneyo, kodwa ambulance basebeqhuma iskipe engangisigqokile. Babheka ngathi ngikhangela ngibheka kabona ukuthi hayi inyama ephume phakathi kwami. bazama ukuthi bebisele esibhedlela ubuhlungu ngangibuzwa bungayenzi base sithi ngangcono imhambise ku theater.
Okay. So ubhoti uzizwa kanjani considering the fact that kuboshwa abantu abawu3 abazovela court ngolesihlanu ungafuna ubona kusenzakala yini?
Ngesifiso sami ngangakhangelanga ukuthi umlungu ozobulala. Ngangikhangele ukuthi uzosibamba kumbe nesikhathi emapholiseni kodwa kwenzakala kanjalo. So isifiso sami ukuthi la nxa ukuthi wephula umthetho kangcono la ehlala ejele kuze kube nini.
Beniqala ukuya kuleya farm or into enjalo ukuyenza mhlambe niyothatha amayogathi ngoba namhlanje sibonile abanye beyothatha izinto laphayana. Into enjalo ukuyenza vela obeniqala?
Sokuqala vele abantu bajela ukuhamba lathi seke sihambe siphenduke. Nkosikazi wami la ehambe iphenduke. Phela into ejakelekile indawo leyo abantu behamba besiyathatha. Abanye isebenza ukukhula ngale bathatha la beyabethengisa.
All right, but thank you very much for isikhathi sakho. Michelle, before I translate, the question that will now come to play is what leads to people to go as far as going to dumping sites to get food, to survive and provide for their families? It's unfortunate that, these 2 women who normally do this to bring food to their families died in the process of trying to get food for their children. Now, who needs to be held accountable in this community, as we understand that there's a lot of people that go to dumping sites. Some dumping sites you find meat, people gather there to get something just to put food on their table. This gentleman is explaining what had transpired on the day he last saw his wife. He says they were going to the farm as usual to get, certain products. And when they arrived there, they were shot, allegedly shot. And he tried to save his wife's life, but he had to reach out for help. When he got to the hospital, he did alert emergency services and police about the incident. When they went to search for the wife and Maria, they could not find them. Several days after, he then receives a message that his wife and her friend, Maria in this case, were found dead and dumped in a pigsty. He's left with 4 kids. The youngest is a year old, and he now has to find means to survive and provide for these 4 kids. He's been shot, and this wound could possibly lead to him being unable to do the work that he would usually do as a man to provide for his family. He said he's actually hoping, or rather he had hoped, that those 3 that are accused of shooting himself and his wife and Maria would actually remain behind bars, because at least they could have arrested them if they were trespassing the premises. But when you enter there, it looks like that's what everyone does. In fact, a number of people in that community, people would just randomly walk in and out there and collect, products that they could possibly reuse to provide for their families. It's a tragic one indeed, Michelle, when you get to interact with these families and really see the impact of this incident, when they describe, those who are able to see the images, when they describe how they were found, and everything that has happened. We are still waiting for the postmortem results to be released so that these families are able to understand how their loved ones spent their last moments on this earth. Back to you in studio.
How are you? Kesharp, man, my little sister. I'm recording a podcast now as we speak, but your voice is out of the podcast. I just want to get your permission. I need an explanation on something. Ne? So, when Moporo went to his bail applications, he was arrested and people already spoke about him, and even the media showed his face and names. There's a current case in Limpopo where these two women were eliminated by two white farmers. So I'm told they already appeared in court, but on Friday they are going to do their bail application. I'm told their faces are not yet showing, but I just want to understand the bail application, which comes first? For pleading comes first, and then the bail application, or bail application then pleading. What happens? Or at this stage, can we? Because their faces and names are already all over social media. Oh, okay. So what kind of contravention? My Leonard sister, can I put you on the speaker for the podcast? Okay, sharp. Thank you for the permission.
It's a podcast.
Yes, it's a podcast. I'm not disclosing your name. Yes, I'm already shooting. No problem. All I just need is so they don't say I fetched it up from a tree. All right, sharp. Let me just understand the process, how it should normally work. Thanks. Let me put you on speaker. Yes, my Leonard sister.
Yes, Mr. Mashiani.
Are you amenable to disclosing your identity, or you want to keep it as hidden as it is now?
I'm not amenable to disclose my identity.
All right, thanks. So what should normally happen? So they appeared on Monday. Monday is 2 days back in court, I suppose. And on Friday, they are going to do their bail applications. And so I'm one of those people who alleges that, every time we are reporting white people doing ill stuff with our justice system, they are always handled with care, unlike ours. So what is strange? Is it strange? Is it... I'm speaking as a media practitioner now. What is it that should happen as we speak? I don't know what happened on Monday, by the way.
Okay. I'm also not, very familiar with what is happening with that case, ma'am.
Yeah.
But I'll just comment it generally. So normally when you get arrested, your first appearance is supposed to be within 48 hours, right?
Yes.
Provided that 48 hours does not fall within a weekend. Like, let's say maybe, for example, you are arrested on Friday at 4. Ne? Court has already closed. So it means that you will appear only on Monday.
Okay. And then, so what could have happened on Monday? So they just said they maybe started the process of bail applications where they're going to verify locations and pleading normally comes way after when the case starts.
Yes, pleading is done by the trial court.
Oh, okay. So
yes, remember at your first appearance, ne?
Yes.
Probably you will note the accused will normally express whether they intend to apply for bail, ne?
Yes.
But it's not possible most of the time to do a bail application on the same day because there are other things that need to be done by the investigating officer, such as maybe to confirm the address.
Fair enough.
Yes. So you find that the investigating officer will request maybe at least a maximum of 7 days.
Yes.
To go and confirm the address, do the Section 212 statement.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that need to be investigated before a person can be granted bail. Remember, for you to be granted bail, the justice must permit, and you must not be a flight risk. Ne? And it also depends on the schedule of the offense with which you are charged with. You understand?
All right.
Yes. So probably they did their first appearance. I'm assuming that they want to apply for bail, but obviously the matter would have to be postponed, for the investigating officer to do the necessary, like confirm the addresses and other things.
All right, thank you. So let me also do my homework as a media practitioner just to understand how this thing works. So, but ordinarily, what I know is by the time people are going for bail applications where they're starting, the media already shows these people's faces and names. You understand?
By the time they go
for bail applications.
For the bail hearing. Yes.
Bail hearing, sorry. Yes, the bail hearing. Yes. We normally see that on
the showing of face, man.
Yeah.
As an accused, you can actually make a request that you don't want your face to be shown. Probably you will have to give substantial reasons, but I think that if you make that application, that maybe even if the proceedings are recorded or they are on the media or on the news, you can make that request that you don't want your face to be shown. So in their case, we don't know whether they made that request or whether maybe whoever that was shooting just decided not to show their face. So without knowing the reasons why their faces were not shown.
My Leonard sister, in this instance, I'm not talking about them being shown live on TV. I'm talking about like your newspapers, other people who show them to say this one is Thabo Ramokadi. He's the one who is alleged to have killed Samuel, and then before the hearing starts, these people are already shown, their faces and names are already in mass media. So I'm just asking that part because it has nothing to do with them giving permission.
Can you repeat the question again?
So in this instance, so on Monday, they went to court where they were
their first appearance.
Yeah, their first appearance where they are going to request that we need bail and we are going to start the process. In that instance, already common practice that in the media, their faces are already shown with their names. Yes. I may not be speaking about this specific case, but I'm saying ordinarily they are shown, their faces and they are ordinarily shown. You could think of Brian Molefe, you could think of a lot of cases where during the bail application, people are already shown. So I want to understand, is it at bail, is it at pleading where the face of the person is already now saying you are given permission to, or is it at first appearance where the media is allowed to show the face and name outside court, of course?
Like I've already said, you can actually make a request that you don't want your face to be shown, right? Like if you know that the proceedings are going to be covered on television or whatever the case may be. If you don't want your face to be shown, you can make that application.
Okay.
Right? To say yes, you can stream the live proceedings, or you can capture it on camera. You can show on the news on the internet, but just don't show your face, my face.
Yeah, I think
you can actually make that request. So we don't know whether they made that request or whether someone, Meromutu took a decision not to show their face.
Yeah.
So I'm unable to comment on that because I don't know why their faces were not shown, whether it was by request or whether someone took a decision, a sole decision not to show them.
All right.
You understand? Because even with other accused, whether be it like you gave an example with Mboro, I'm thinking that if he didn't want his face to be shown, he could have made an application to say, I don't want my face to be broadcasted. And with valid reasons, I'm sure that request could have been granted.
All right.
So we don't know the circumstances.
All right, thank you very much. I still think you misunderstood me. Maybe I framed my question incorrectly because all I wanted was to check, can SABC show your face, even because we're not showing about live proceedings in court. If they are reporting,
SABC show your face on first appearance.
Yes, after the first appearance. Not court proceedings, not when you appear in court, because we've got your archive picture of your face and name. When we talk about the story, can we show your face and name because you are not in court yet. You are not okay. You are not. We are not showing you. We are not showing proceedings in court. We are just showing. We are attaching face to the picture and name. That's what I was asking.
Maybe it depends whether it's before the arrest or after.
No, okay. All right.
Yeah, because if it's after the arrest, actually your face mask is not supposed to be shown.
Yeah.
Because of maybe, for instance, if the case is one where an ID parade will be required.
Yes.
Maybe someone or a witness will be required to come and identify a witness, right?
Okay.
Amongst like an ID parade.
All
They
right.
normally don't show the faces because they don't want to influence whoever that has to come and maybe point out whoever that they think is the accused.
All
So
right.
it's not a cut and paste thing. It depends on the charges, the case, and a whole lot of things. It's not a cut and paste thing. So it's not a situation where I can say, yes, definitely the face can be shown or definitely the case cannot be shown. It depends on each and every case and the circumstances.
Thank you very much.
That case.
Thank you very much. My little sister, thanks for taking my call. Let's hope next time we talk, I will be in studio so you could impart more knowledge.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, Mr. Machine. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. So that's it. I still don't think I asked in the correct way. That's why she could not answer me properly. But as it were, I'm none the wiser. I'll just do my research as a media practitioner to understand how and when are we free to do this, because these things are done deliberately. I remember there was a case of a pit bull of a white man, white family, mauled the helper. And I googled the story, I tried the story, I hoed in the names. I had the names, but I still could not get the picture. And the victim does not have the pictures. And the person who were telling me the story, they don't have the pictures of the people who were involved. I don't know if the pictures are available, you understand? Because the media deliberately kills certain stories. And I don't want to be one of those who are said to have killed a certain story. But if there's a line in law that I need to toe, I want to toe that line. Machine politically incorrect. Please support the funding. So what happens is the victim families. This is intended for them to get. I'm not involved in any way. Bianca is the one who knows how it works. You would see even in the Potosi, the victim of the pit bull, they did a crowdfunding, and I put in what is this? I put in details for that crowdfunding where people can go there. I'm not involved in any of that. And there was another case that I did in Elandsport where a family of blind people, their house broke, but they were allowing me to give them direct details. So I just wrote the details of the family. So anyone who needs to support them must just go directly. So I'm not involved in any of the monies or how it works. Machine politically incorrect. I'm very disappointed with this story that is happening even now. And I don't want to raise the racial tones because I do it a lot in this podcast. Thank you.